The legal and regulatory aspects of Islamic banking is the title of a book authored by Abdul Karim Al-Duhni. The subtitle, which offers a narrower perspective of the study, is a comprehensive look at the United Kingdom and Malaysia. The book is a publication of Routledge and it was first published in 2011. The book has come in 9 chapters. Chapter 1 is Introduction, which encompasses the reasons for compiling this book as well as its structure. Chapter 2 concerns itself with historical and ideological background of the Islamic banks. In this context, detailed references are made to the formation and history of Islamic banks around the world, with some focus on the Muslim world and the United Kingdom as a case in the backdrop of the Western world. The chapter also comprises components of theoretical origins of the industry concept, as well as issues denoting general and political pitfalls hindering its progress. The third chapter offers a comprehensive legal study denoting a legal analysis of the English legal system in comparison to the Islamic legal system. This chapter is logically a gateway to entering into legal aspects of Islamic and English financial worlds. Chapter 4 is of significance as it presents a legal description and classification of Islamic banks under English law. The chapter allocates sections to the definition and position of banks within English law. It also tries to expand the evolution of modern Islamic banks with a view to the material already offered on English legal and regulatory system. The chapter also offers a Malaysian case in a way of shedding light on areas of challenge and complications faced throughout the process of Islamic banking sector formation in parallel with Western conventional prototypes. Chapter 5 presents a legal analysis of the practice of the Islamic banks in the UK. The chapter examines the formation of Islamic banks and the structure they needed to achieve in order to meet regulatory criteria of the British law. Chapter 6 is a portrayal of the banking regulatory network in the UK, and Chapter 7 offers an examination of the current regulatory framework on Islamic banks. Primarily, it explores whether Islamic banks share similar rationales for regulation in contrast to their different nature, and then it expands on this. Chapter 8 is a detailed elaboration upon the Malaysian experience in the Islamic banking sector. The chapter offers a view of the Malaysian approach in dealing with regulatory challenges. Chapter 9 is an attempt to bring all the material and argument in a logical sequence in order to draw conclusions. The book provides a specialist approach towards the Islamic banking industry, i.e., examining the regulatory and legal problems that ought to be resolved in order to pave the way for a smoother cooperation and operation and function of the Islamic financial sector and their coexistence with their conventional counterparts.